Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
How old are you?
How old do you think I am?
You sound like you're maybe about 21, 22.
Well, I'm 18.
Okay, I gave you a little more.
Yes, you did.
I want you, because you're so young right now, to listen to the rest of the program this morning. You're gonna learn a lot. You're gonna learn a lot about people, people's habits,
right,
about why they tip, how they tip, the whole nine about tipping, because we're gonna talk about that now.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
Thanks for the call.
Thank you.
Come on by the station. I'll give you $5 on Stan Allen's behalf.
Second of all, I got to go back on this one. I let you talk right there, but 99.9% of the time I do tip. If I didn't, I either forgot it because I was in conversation or something. I haven't eaten at Peppers in a long time, not because I didn't like the service. It's a good place. And if I didn't tip you...
It's probably just you forgot.
I just forgot
But
it.
wait a minute.
Because usually 99.9% of the time I do tip.
Hold on. Let's start over.
Yeah.
How you feeling today?
I'm all right.
You're supposed to say it's another great day and be live on God's screen.
All right, let me go in this corner and pray for a minute first, all right?
We had a topic this morning that we will now move to another day.
So another day.
Because of the very first phone call. Young lady, and I think she has waited on me before about tipping.
I think I know who it is, but I'm not truly sure.
And I'm glad she called. You know why? Because I think people need to know. I think the waiters and the waitresses, they need to know that there is a system everybody personally has.
Yeah.
Whether you tip or don't tip, that is your system. You may have a system where you don't tip. You may have a system where you start out your tip being $5. And if the slowest service is slow, you take $1 away. You ask for something else, the deal still don't come, take another $1. Whatever your system is, call up right now and talk about tipping, because this young lady, I'm sure, is not alone. I've talked about this before.
Yeah. I've talked to another lady at another restaurant who talked about the tipping process, and I agree with tipping. Like I said, if I didn't, it was because I either forgot it or I was enthralled in thought.
And before we go to the jam lines, I got to say this, Stan.
Yeah.
I got to, because we are in radio.
Yeah.
And people know us.
Yeah.
There are several times I have had plenty of arguments with my wife.
Yeah.
Where we would be in restaurants and get terrible, terrible service.
Yeah.
And she would not want me to leave a tip.
Yeah, my wife said.
But I would be forced into leaving a tip because of what we do. If we don't leave a tip, calls like her
will call up
and try to
put us out on Front Street.
Put us on
Front Street.
On blast.
I mean, I ain't mad about it. You know, I mean, if I offended the young lady, then I apologize for it, because, like I say, I normally tip.
I think she was just trying to get attention. But anyway,
now
that she opened up a can of worms, come on by here.
Well, sweetheart, I'm sorry.
I'll bring you $5. Matter of fact,
I'll throw in another $5. It'll be
that's a lot of interest right there, since you didn't remember when it happened.
I didn't remember it, because, like I said,
she didn't remember it either.
Yeah.
So this morning we're going to talk about tipping. I've often heard other people say black people don't tip.
Yeah, I've heard that. The white people are better tippers.
If you want to pull a race card.
Yeah.
And you know I don't like pulling the race card.
But we're going to jerk the card today. So there are a lot of places that I do meet, that people who know me personally will tell you that I tip 99.9% of the time.
Let me tell you something.
Just piss me off.
I am such a terrible. I'm a giver.
Yeah.
And I know that if I suck at a lot of things, one thing I don't suck at is giving.
Yep.
I tip my pizza delivery man.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I tip the pizza. Anybody.
Look.
I tip a grocery person that takes my groceries to the car.
Let's go to the jam lines. 92 Jams, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Jeff and Stan.
Hi.
Can we please have another topic? I don't like the topic.
Actually, I think this is a good one.
It's a good one.
No.
Why, do you not tip?
Yeah, but still, we need another topic.
What you want to talk about, darling?
I don't know. Let's talk about something else besides tipping. Yeah.
We need a tip drill.
Look, and
she just stirred up my goal. We got to go with it.
Realize, there's a lot of people that don't tip.
Why?
If that's part of her job, if she don't like that, maybe she needs to find another job.
Why you think they don't tip, though?
Do what?
Why do you think that people don't tip?
Some people just don't, because like was said earlier, some of them don't deserve it because they don't come and they don't, do their job like they're supposed to.
Now,
go ahead.
With all the good comments you just made, why would I change the topic?
Yeah, well, we
you
can
have,
change
you
it.
have
Now
a
you
valid point.
you just helped out the topic.
Still. Okay, I tell you what, I'm calling and want to give y'all a topic there.
Hey, well, email
Well,
us.
just shoot us an email, okay?
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
925-JAMZ.
We talking about the damn tips today.
I don't know why, but something just said the phone is ringing. Why is it ringing? Just answer it.
Yeah. Because normally we kick it out before we even go to the phone line.
Book that call through. All right, James, good morning. Turn your radio down just a little bit. You're on the air. Lost you.
Lost you. My bad.
When I go pick up takeout orders,
Yep.
I tip.
Same thing.
92 James, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, y'all are having a great topic today. I am a server.
All right. How
You're
you
a
doing?
server. All right, so
Yes.
tell us a little bit about this tipping thing here in Tupelo.
Okay, a lot of people don't tip as well as they should. I mean, the place I work at is not full service. I don't expect a $5 tip off of every table, but we only make $2.13 an hour. And when you slap down 50 on the table, that is an insult.
Mm-hmm.
When you go back and forth, every time you look around, oh, I need another fork. Oh, I want some bread. Oh, I need some more this and that. And then you don't leave anything. That's insulting. That it doesn't even make sense how some people just come in, and the main ones who don't tip are the most worrisome guests you will have.
So what do you say about people who have to get up and go get their own stuff because they can't find you?
If they can't find me, you shouldn't expect a tip. As a server, you shouldn't expect a tip from a table who has to get up and get their own drink or check on, if you're not taking care of them, you shouldn't expect anything. But if you know that you are taking care of that table, they can at least have the decency to leave $1 or $2. If you can't leave $1 or $2, you need to go to the grocery store and fix you something. Go home and cook,
So from your aspect, you're saying that if you come to someone's table and bring them some stuff that they need, that you expect a tip.
At least $1. I mean, what's wrong with $1? I can take that, but nothing. Especially I'm saying most people do tip, but on the average, the people that don't tip are the ones that are constantly wanting something. You can pour them a glass of tea and turn around and look. Not even 30 seconds later, and they have emptied that glass, and they're looking at you like you're crazy, and they'll get up and won't leave a dime.
Okay, now I'm a tipper, and I'll keep saying that all morning long, but I'm trying to understand. Isn't that your job? If my glass is empty, you're supposed to come fill it up.
Yes, I am, but the people who it seems like they purposely do stuff
if I'm
just
thirsty,
to keep
if
you
I'm
going,
real thirsty,
and they don't
woman,
want to leave anything.
If I'm real thirsty, and you see I done went through 2 cups of Coke or 2 cups of water.
But that's my job to bring it to you. I don't mind.
I just need to go and bring a carafe over there. Just let a whole bunch sit over there.
Let me ask you something. Does where you work have a gratuity requirement?
No, it doesn't, unless it's a big group.
Okay.
Okay. Well, hey, thanks for the call.
Thank you. Good luck.
Hey, I even tip the Sonic people when I go to Sonic.
I do too. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it shocks me because, like I said, if I don't tip you, it's usually because I got enthralled in the conversation and forgot it.
The phone lines are open, 842-9292. And Stan, I'm going to say this too. And I understand a lot of times where my wife comes from, especially if, the server is a female or whatever.
Yeah.
All that has something to do with it. But when you first walk into an establishment or restaurant, that's where my tip begins. When I first walk in.
Yeah.
I don't mind the wait if I got to wait. But once the hostess brings us to our table, that is where my tip begins. How long is it going to take a server to come over and say, here are the 2 napkins. Thank y'all for coming tonight. Our specials are blah, 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 blah. I'm counting all of that. From the time you place my order until how long it takes to get back. I'm asking you, what's going on in the back? I'm counting all of that. And I even help the servers. When my drink is low, I put it to the side out there so they can see it.
Yes.
But now if you looking across the room and you see our glasses are empty, and you still ain't made no effort, come on now. I'm still leaving a tip though. I mean, hey, I don't mind. But I want you to know that I'd be in an argument on the way home. 92 James, good morning, you on there.
How you doing, Jeff and Stan?
What's up, brother?
How you doing?
I'm calling in, man. I got a question, man. Tip me up with that 3rd number to the tongue going to my get it. Yeah. Y'all
What-
just broke us all we had. Like,
It changes every day.
I'm waiting on that $1,000, cuz.
You know, we lost the feed.
We lost the feed. That's over. It's over for the day.
Man, on the topic that y'all talking about today, man, I think it should be done like this, man. You do other folks the way you want them to do you. You understand what I'm saying? When you go
Yeah,
to a place, you already know you're going to eat. You know what I'm saying? And you know somebody's going to be waiting on you. Hand and foot, you know. That's their job. So you should tip them, man. You know.
I agree.
Freely from your heart. You know, you give the amount that you want. It should be no amount, certain amount that you should give. But they should be happy with whatever you give them because that's their job. You know, that's what they chose to do. You know, they chose to be a waitress, so.
Okay. Hey, thanks for the call, brother.
Hold on, you ain't got that phone out or something?
We lost the feed.
The feed is over. I mean, it's over for the day. It's going to change
It's over.
tomorrow.
Man.
Yeah, listen tomorrow.
Yeah, it's over.
Have a nice day.
All right,
Hey,
yeah,
man.
Stan, I believe that the first caller who brought up this subject, I believe she was using you
Apparently.
to talk about
And
it.
see, that is probably the one time
Now, I'm
that
not
I've
saying,
never left a
I'm
tip.
just Stan, I'm not saying she's lying.
Oh, she's probably not. I'm sure she's
But all
telling the
I'm
truth.
saying is, she didn't even have to use you to talk about it. All she do is say, I want to talk about this.
That's okay. I'll be the scapegoat today. That's not a problem.
I was like, she's using
Well, you know what? Even in places where gratuities are added into your price, I will, and then you don't have to tip. I will still go to a waitress and just give them a tip. Just stick it in their hand.
Now, like I said, I am a cheerful giver.
I'm saying, I mean,
But if I was to have a problem with the tipping system,
Yeah.
that is the one thing I have a problem with. The gratuity.
automatic gratuity.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now I do have a problem with automatic
I'm
gratuity.
gonna tell you why.
'Cause they don't get all of that.
Well, I've been with groups
Yeah.
where I didn't order anything. I just sat there and, may have gotten a glass of water or a Coke.
Yeah.
92 James, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, my brother.
Hey.
Hi. How are you?
All righty. I'm calling on behalf of the topic.
Mm-hmm.
I used to work at Cracker Barrel, and I was a hostess there.
Uh-huh.
And I know what these ladies are going through. I've seen them go through. I mean, you have people that comes in there. You have big ballers that comes in there. They eat. They work these girls. I'm talking about work them like they, at one of these factories or something. And we're turning around and leave 50 cents on their table and expecting them to say, oh, well, thank you. That's not fair, man. You guys, y'all, that's not fair. These girls
Nah,
deserve a tip.
I'm glad
And then
you called.
got-
You know why?
Wait a minute. Don't get me wrong. Let's not get it twisted. And I've seen some servers that don't deserve tips. I mean, they'll come to the table all frown all up with a nasty attitude. And some of them, they don't deserve tips. I mean, they treat you like, they at home waiting on some of their boyfriends or something. You know what I'm saying? And I tell them, you know what I'm saying? Some of them, they'll come in there and work like 8 hours, and they'll leave with like $15. I've seen them leave with $7, $8 for their whole entire day. And it's sad, it really is. I mean, I think that people that, you won't go in Cracker Barrel, places like Peppers and such places like that to eat. Come on, you guys, come on, give them $2. Man, $1 really is not enough. If you want me to tell you, I had to leave the whole stand many days to go and wait on guests, because of the servers. They have such attitudes, and someone be want to walk out, and I be like, I know that's where I work. It's a place of business. It made my living. I used to have to catch people walking that store because the servers are so poor, and say, well, hey, if there's anything that I can help, I'm a host. I'll go back there. I'll help, and I'll bring you bread. I'll fix your drink. Just don't leave. And I be expecting them when I do that. I be expecting them still leave a tip, even though she piss you off. Leave a tip. I mean, everybody have bad days. Everybody have good days. But, like I say, y'all help the girls out. They don't get for $2.13. And it's hard. And
we'll do, but
hard, y'all are hard. And that's all they offering now, restaurants. I mean, you go put in the, well, we got something at the restaurant. I mean, you can't turn it down because it's work, and you be expecting it. That's all I say. Y'all take care of the girls. Don't do them like that.
All right, baby.
Hold on. I'm up now.
All right, darling.
Hey, I'm glad you called because you said something very important
When?
in the beginning.
And what was that?
I mean, you said a lot.
I'm sorry.
Something very
Yeah,
important
you were rolling, baby. You need to be in Congress.
in the beginning. Oh, yeah.
In the
You speak like a politician.
You're a politician.
So eloquently and so
Yes,
well.
you need to be running against
I'm
Karen.
Lady V. Don't worry about it. Hey, but I'm worried about my girls, and there's a lot on this
but
out
wait a
there
minute.
that take their job to the fullest.
But hold on.
Hold
Go
on.
back to something you said, and I was sitting here thinking about it, and then you said it, and I'm like, whoa, so it is happening. In the beginning, you said you used to be a hostess, and you would see certain people coming in, and you profile them. You call them ballers, shot callers with their girls, whatever. So profiling is going on when y'all sit people down and looking at them and waiting on them, huh? Y'all just because a person dressed a certain way, you expect them to have money and hold them up.
That's right. And when my girl, like, I'm a host and I see ballers come in there, oh, best believe me, I'm going to sit them at a certain table. I know that my girl's going to get paid.
Well, listen here.
But what if I'm a baller on a budget?
Huh?
Well, yeah, what if we're ballers on budgets?
No, ballers. Well, then y'all don't need to be eating that Cracker Barrel. I don't eat that Cracker Barrel, but Cracker Barrel is not a budget restaurant.
So if I come to Cracker
Yes,
Barrel, where are you going to put me?
I'm a stand. You know where I put you in? You and your wife at that little two-top table right there at the whole stand.
Yeah.
I sit y'all at that little bitty table because I know y'all ain't gonna tip to leave it $2.
Are you wrong for that?
She gonna put you in the corner with a booty
She's going to put me in a corner.
With a little bitty table. You know what I'm saying? With 2 seats to it. That's why I sit stand
That's
here watching.
cold-blooded.
Ain't nobody put me and my wife. I don't need the 2 seats.
Nothing personal.
So that's what the little table was. Okay.
Yeah, that was the little table.
Have a good day.
Tip.
Have a good day. Thanks for the call.
Uh-huh.
I'm finna stop tipping.
Don't go on
The
strike.
hell with all of you.
Don't go on strike, Stan.
I'm going on strike.
Regardless of what's said today, don't go on strike.
Going on strike.
Don't do it.
I'm doing it.
Be a crusader.
Nope.
But here's my thing. I think the attitude of the waiters and waitresses needs to change no matter what they're going through. No, look, if you understand that some of your pay is supplemented by tipping, by the public tipping, then don't be mad if you don't get a tip. Hell, you took that job, not them. You go work one of these hard other jobs. Oh, Lord. 92 Jams, good morning. You're on there.
Yeah, I just got something to say. When a lady called in and she said that if her service is slow, she won't tip. But I'm saying it's like they have like 8 tables to wait on. So you just can't like wait on one table and have that stuff there just when they want it. It's like 8 tables. They got to clean the table as quick as people get up to fit more people. So how they just supposed to like wait on one table and be there when that table just empty? I mean, they can at least give them 2 minutes.
I give you as much time as you need. It's fine.
Okay. Hey, thanks for the call.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Now, I've been in restaurants where all the waiter do or the waitress does is the table. They don't clean the table. They have busboys for that. They don't do anything but take orders and bring out food and bring out drinks.
So like IHOP does that. I think IHOP has busboys.
Yeah, and when you get slow service in a situation like that, I mean, you really need to think before you prejudge how someone is dressed, whether they're going to leave a tip or not.
Sure.
It's all about, are you good at what you do? Because I've been in restaurants where some old ladies were some of the best service I ever had. And I've been to some restaurants where the old ladies over there gosling. They were fraternizing too much and forgot about us. Talking about the bingo hall. And the same thing with young people. I've been in restaurants where my table was neglected because Pookie little cousin that came in.
And Pookie got all the conversation, huh?
And Pookie getting the hookup. And I'm sitting over there judging going out. Now look, Lil Ray Ray ain't spending but about $20. I got my whole family up in here.
And we about to drop by $65.
92 Jams, good morning, you on there.
Hello?
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 Hey.
Got a feeling this ain't about that.
I lost him.
Did you?
Yeah. 92 Jams, good morning, you on there.
Hello. How are y'all this morning?
Hey,
Fine,
good,
how are
how are
you?
you?
Real good. Well, I'm a waitress also, and I waitress at Carmita's. I'm going to tell you why I waitress. And it's nothing but like 14 tables. And I do all of them by myself.
Whoa!
Whoa!
And I do a really, really great job.
Carmen, where is
My
that?
manager asked me, do you need more help? I tell her no because I do a real good job.
Because you want to keep all the money.
All right,
Yeah, she tells me,
I ain't mad
do it
at
by
you.
yourself and keep all the money or you can have another partner. But I chose to do it by myself.
Where is Camilla?
Where is that? Where is that?
It's on McCullough Boulevard by
Oh,
the
yeah.
antique shop.
Yeah, I got you. I know where it is.
So you're pretty good at what you do.
Yes, sir, I really am.
And do you find that people tip a lot or do you find people that don't tip at all? I mean, what's the deal in your situation?
Well, sometimes I get people who don't leave nothing, and I don't think that's right neither. At least leave a penny or a quarter. And then sometimes I get where I two top. Some leave me 20, some leave me 10, some leave me 5, which I think that's real good.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call.
Okay, thank you very much.
Good luck. Mm-hmm.
Now, Stan, before I got married,
Yeah.
if I would visit somewhere and had terrible service, I would leave something.
I'd leave probably a dime.
No, I wouldn't leave that. I think it's an insult. See, my mom, she does that.
I would do a dime.
She would leave a penny.
I'd leave a dime if I didn't like it.
I think that's an insult.
That's why I did it.
I wouldn't leave any money, but I would write on the back of a napkin, you didn't receive a monetary tip because I had bad service. So therefore, I will give you a useful life tip. Never look directly into the sun without sunglasses. I know it sounds crazy.
Don't go in the rain without an umbrella.
Exactly. That is the kind of tip that I would leave them to let them know.
A parasol.
But here's what I want to say to some people out there. If you're like me, once you get hooked on a restaurant and you continuously go,
Yeah.
it is in your best interest to leave a tip. Those waiters and waitresses, they talk amongst themselves, and they will bend over backwards and break their neck to make sure your table is happy. I don't care how crowded they are. I don't care if the situation is the worst. They will bend over backwards because they know you are a good tipper.
Yep. You ever eat at Houston's in Memphis?
Yeah,
I don't know. Is it on?
I've eaten there.
I like Houston.
I didn't like it.
You don't like Houston?
Nah.
Come on.
All right.
Son, they got a Hawaiian that'll blow you out of the water.
Because I'm going to tell
But
y'all
that's another
something.
story.
I'm going to tell y'all something right now, Tupelo. You better get ready
For Olive Garden. But anyway.
for the Olive Garden. I'm
Olive Garden,
you. Read my mind,
excuse me.
man. And I'm going to tell you something. These managers are going to have to deal with employees who are going to quit because of cheap tippers or no tippers. The turnover may be high.
Yep.
And you know what? My heart goes out to the managers now that are dealing with it.
Olive Garden gonna be off the chain.
I understand the situation, but look, again, no one forced you waiters or waitresses to take that kind of job.
I ain't mad at you.
92 Jams, good morning, you're on air.
Hello.
What's up?
Man, y'all talking about tips.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get no tip at work.
Where you work?
Where do you work?
Huh?
Where do you work?
At Sonic.
Are you a cook or you a server?
A server.
Well, I tip when I'm at Sonic.
Ah.
I don't know. Of course, I don't eat there a lot, so I can't say. But hey, I'm sorry, bro. We'll send
Let me
a
ask
smoke
you,
signal.
when you bring somebody's order, do you do it with a smile?
Mm-hmm. All the time.
Don't sound like it.
Okay. Hey, thanks for the
Hey,
call.
man. Good luck.
All right.
Didn't sound like it.
Doesn't sound like it. He may do it. I don't know.
And see, that is the hard part about dealing with the public and customer service. You have to always put your game face on.
Yep.
There have been situations that totally PO'd me. But because I served the public, I have to put my game face on. I have to suck it up. Those are 3 words that a lot of people don't like hearing, but they need to hear, so I'll say it again. Suck it up. As
You're right.
As Master P would say, charge it to the game.
There it is. Don't hate the player. Hate the game.
92 Jams, good morning. You on there?
Hey,
Yeah.
when you get your car fixed, do you tip them?
When I get my car fixed, do I tip them?
Yeah, tip out.
Sometimes if they save me money.
If they save me money, I will.
Yeah, because, my brother, he used to work in the one of those oil change places.
Yeah.
And he's one of those auto mechanics, too. He went to school for it and all that, but he doesn't even do that now. But he would always, help people out and say, look, man, this part right here would have cost you $200. I went and got a brand new part from another store for about $75. And I would see people tip him for that. So, I mean, it just depends. If your auto mechanic is
Killing you.
running amok on you,
See ya. But if he's helping out, nothing wrong with a tip.
now, are you a tipper?
Sometimes.
Are you a mechanic?
No, sir.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
in school.
Okay.
Auto mechanic, body vendor.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, I believe almost any business will get what we call a little slight handshake, a big thank you, like. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks for the call. Hey Stan, even we work here in radio, we get tips all the time.
Sure.
People just say, "Hey, thank you for whatever,"
Whatever.
and we don't ask for it.
Nope.
It's just a nice gesture.
Yep.
And if you want to be portrayed as a nice person, or you are really a nice person, this is not even a question for you today. You already know inside your heart what you do. 92 Jams, turn your radio down just a little bit. Good morning. You on the air. Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me now?
Goodbye.
I think we lost him. Call us back if you get a moment. All right, the jam lines are open. 842-9292.
You tip the Undertaker?
Trick question. Hey, when you go to a strip club, you really tipping.
Oh, Lord.
Tip drill.
Not that I attend those establishments anymore, but yeah, you do.
Maybe that's why some fellas don't have a problem tipping.
Yeah.
They throw it away on something else.
Kind of like a pole monitor.
A pole monitor. No, but seriously. And you know what? Now, that was one end of the spectrum. The strip club. The other end of the spectrum is church. Don't you give God a tip? That's what the word offering is. You should.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with tipping God.
No. It's called tithe and offering.
Especially if you can.
Tithes and offerings. It's just planting seeds.
So some people this morning don't get that, so I'm going to go and break it down. Tithes and tips.
Yeah. Well, see, tithes and offerings are different.
Right. And a tip is different than your bill, right?
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, just because you give tithes, you haven't given the offering yet, that's a different thing.
Go on and give them a tip.
If you make $500, give a tip.
And let's not get confused at church, the tip being part of the tithe.
Nope, not the same
Because when
thing.
you're at a restaurant, you got your bill,
Then you got the tip.
and you got your tip. I'm helping y'all preachers out this morning.
That's right, preachers. We are in with you.
92 Jams, good morning, you on air.
Good morning, Stan. Jeff, old mystery man.
Sports guy.
Mystery Man.
Oh, this mystery
Oh,
man.
yeah.
What's going on?
Hey, y'all sound
I
like
ain't too
cousins.
much going on. Just sitting here listening to y'all.
Y'all sound like cousins.
Tipping now. And on a lot of time, you know, it's right to give it. But a lot of time, like you said, it depends on the personality of the waitress or like you were saying, the mechanic, or whoever you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
If, the people be real polite and everything and, nice to you, it depends on the amount of tip that a person would get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I know the type of work I do, I just be, nice to my people.
Right.
And you'd be surprised, what that nice personality will get you in a tip. But you can, mess around and have a negative attitude, like you said, you just put a penny down there. where it could be either $5, $10 or maybe more. You got to be polite to people when you're dealing with the public. And if you don't have that right attitude, you got the wrong job.
Mr. Man, thank you so much for the call.
All right.
Have a good day.
Uh-huh.
But like I said, I go to a grocery store. Kid brings my groceries out. I give him a tip.
Mr. Man is absolutely right.
Sure.
Something that I learned, Stan, gosh, I love my pastor because he makes me think about things. My pastor oftentimes says, you never know what a person's gone through until you talk to them.
Yeah.
So instead of guesstimating from the sidelines, just go ahead and open up a line of communications. A while back, I guess when we first met, when we were dating, my wife told me how her kindness on one job got her a new job. And I was blown away by it. I tried to rationalize and create all kind of logic on her situation to say, well, no, it had to be the onion. Or no, it had to be something else. Hey, go ahead, don't kill him. It had to be something.
Had to be the onion.
But as I realized when we were talking that it wasn't. It was truly her kindness.
An attitude, yeah.
It got her from working, I believe she was at J.C. Penney's, in the clothing section, to working for a bank.
People skills.
This is many years ago. I'm telling you, you have to be nice when you're dealing with the public. You have to. And for people who think I'm a mean guy, shame on you.
Because you will tip. Tip.
No, wait a minute. 92 Jams, good morning, you're on there.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Fine, how are you?
Fine. Yes, I'm a firm believer that if the service is good, you definitely should leave a tip. You definitely should leave a tip. And I can relate to what you're saying. If I'm going to the grocery store, I will tip those young guys that come out and help me with my groceries, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, you know, because they have to come out when it's raining and and it's cold, you know, and a lot of them are still in school. So I definitely try to tip those young fellas. But if the service is good, I'm a firm believer that you are supposed to tip. And I'm not talking about leaving 50 or 10 cents either.
And it's just part of tradition.
Exactly. Well, I don't know about that. Now, my grandmother, she's from the old school. She doesn't believe in tipping.
Well, that's because she felt like
her thing is she tips in and she tips out.
That's what you're supposed to do, boy. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. So she doesn't believe in all that. But I'm a firm believer. You are supposed to tip.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks for the call.
Bye bye.
All right, 842-9292. We're talking about tipping this morning. Not tipping out. That was funny, Stan. Well, we'll take another quick call and then we'll take a quick break. 92 Jams, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, I drove limousine for 8 years.
Oh, boy, I know you got big tips.
Sometimes. But the tipping situation, that's why I tip. And I try to tip 15% of my bill. But I've had people that tell me that their husband left a tip and they stayed behind and collected the tip.
Whoa!
Yes.
Wait a minute.
And I'm a tipper.
Wait a minute.
I believe in tipping. I also tip at Sonics.
Wait a minute. Back up. You said that the husband left the tip.
And the wife collected money?
They came back around and got it.
Thank you.
That's trifling.
Get out of here.
So I am a tipper. I believe in tipping. I try to tip 15%. And I think that's the appropriate is 15%. Used to be 10, but I think it went up to 15%.
Well, I'm bad with math, so I always just do 20. I like even numbers.
Now, if I get bad service, I'm like you. I leave a note.
There you
Don't
go.
eat yellow snow.
Don't eat yellow snow.
Have a good day, guys.
Thanks for the call. And we'll take a quick break, but before we go to break, Stan, I'm going to say this for all the fellas out there, because I know it's happened. I'm not the only one been through this. You had great service. You were out with your significant other. The waitress was fine as all get out. Had an onion banging.
And you couldn't look.
Greeted you with a smile. Had conversation with you and your mate.
Matter of fact, put her hand on your shoulder.
And just made you feel welcome and comfortable. Don't get too overly excited like I did and leave a huge tip.
Wife got pissed.
Your tip better be normal. Just like any other day.
Yes, sir.
Because you're going to have problems. So, to all the fine waitresses out there,
don't start.
Some of us guys want to give you more than what we want.
But the wife with us.
But there's a little pit bull right next to us.
And guys, make sure that little pit bull go out in front of you.
Right. There's a pit bull next to us going, when you pull out that 20 or that 10, they're going. And you pull it back and you say, all right, here's a 5. Here's a 5.
You got a 5 over there?
You got change?
You got change for this 20?
All right, don't move. We'll be right back to continue this conversation. I'm Jeff Lee.
I'm Stan Allen.
This is Brother to Brother Jam Talk, and this morning we're talking about
tipping out.
Not tipping out, but tipping. 92.5 Jams, a better variety, and we are back. I'm Jeff Lee.
What's up, Stan Allen?
And 842-9292, that is the number to call into the fine program that we call
Brother to Brother Jam Talk.
And this morning we're talking about tipping. Tips.
I am the brother that got laid on the line this morning.
And I still believe she was just using you. Don't feel bad, dude.
Oh, I don't feel bad. I just got laid on the line.
I'd have felt better if she'd have said me.
I think I'll go to Peppers today.
During the commercial break, we actually had a couple of phone calls. A guy called.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And said about when we were talking about the waitress with the onion.
And you leaving a big tip.
And then what his significant other's response was, well, you must be the itch bay.
Right.
That was not nice.
But it happens.
Sure it happened.
And
there's a hit, fella.
I don't know if it's that caddy thing.
Caddy? Yeah.
You know, with two women.
Yeah.
But sometimes I can believe that a woman would go back and take that tip off the table.
Fellas, let your significant other choose the tip if the waitress is fine. Baby, what do you think I ought to leave? $5. Okay, baby, that's what we leave.
We also got a phone call during the break from a restaurant dining room manager. And she had to train waiters and waitresses. I'm sure that's very difficult. One of the things she said is attitude does matter. If they have the right attitude, then more than likely they will get a tip.
More than likely.
Even if the service was bad.
Yeah.
The attitude. She also said that she received a $100 tip one time.
Cup of coffee.
Off of a cup of coffee.
$100.
$100. Just served a man a cup of coffee.
She must be banging.
She had the right cream and sugar.
Oh, the onion.
But it can happen.
Sure.
And the final thing that she told us, and she said, by the way, she could go on and on and on and on and on about just this aspect of the restaurant, tipping. But she said one of the things that a lot of the public doesn't know, she couldn't go on the air with us because she's at work.
Yeah.
She just wanted to take a few seconds to call and give that to us and can go back to her tables. But she said one of the things that the public doesn't know is that the government taxes waiters and waitresses 8% on their total income, whether they get tips or not. And I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
So I see the importance of tipping to a waiter or waitress, but I want the public to see the importance of tipping, especially if you frequent that restaurant and you want good service. And if you've had a bad experience at a restaurant, don't chalk that up as that restaurant is bad. I've given restaurants 3 and 4 times, and each time it's been different.
Yeah.
So
depends on who you get a lot of times. So yeah.
842-9292. What is your theory or your ideal of tipping? Your system. 92 Jams, good morning. You're on the air.
What's up?
What's up?
What's up, bro?
Like you just said, the government taxes them 8%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Half the time they ain't telling the truth on them tips anyway.
Oh, man.
Well, I mean, I work at Sonic. I know that they make about $50 a night, but they don't say they made 15. And I mean, that ain't right.
$50 a night. That's one. That could be $300 extra a week.
Okay.
Which is good.
Well, thanks for the call.
That's why their
that really didn't
tax is so high.
It really didn't shed light on what we're talking about.
Well, you saying, a lot of they not turn because they're supposed to honestly turn in the amount of tax.
That's between them and the IRS.
Oh yeah, them and the IRS and them and God. And let me tell you, the IRS does not play. I am a living witness.
There's 3 people I don't mess with.
Oh, God.
The I, the R, and the S.
Well, full with me, God.
92 Channels, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. This is Miss Mary. Hi, Stan. Hi, Jeff.
How you doing, baby?
Hey, Miss Mary.
Yes, I do believe in tipping, and I do know that sometimes when you go to restaurants, sometimes the waiter or the waitress, they might be having something might have happened at home, So like you said, when you come in, if something not right, just don't chalk it up and just blame. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And, we just got to learn to do what's right. You do what's right. You make sure you're right, and God will take care of the rest. And with our attitudes, we do, some people do have other attitudes. You have to practice things. So that's something we need to start practicing. And I know that I have never applied for a job, and I'm 50 years old, and I have ever been turned down. And I've always been content, and I always asked the Lord to lead me and guide me in the right direction. And 9 times out of 10, all the time, He'll move me. He'll let me stay in one job, but He leave me there for a reason. And when He see that I can appreciate that job, then He always open another door for me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the job that I'm on now, I had only been there 2 weeks, and I was raised up to amount of money that I had been on the job 3 years, and I made it in 2 weeks. So it's all about your attitude and the way you carry yourself, and you have got to know how to talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
You got to know, and there's a time that sometimes you just need to shut up, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, Miss Mary,
depends on the time of the month.
I'm going to say something.
Shut up, Steve.
You stupid. I'm going to say something that people are going to say I'm crazy for.
You're right, I'm right. You catch women on that bad time of the month.
Man, shit.
That doesn't matter.
Ain't got nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with it.
Oh, y'all be pissed off at that time of
Nothing
the
to do
month.
with it.
Get mad at God. I didn't put that.
With it, we ought to be able to know that, it's coming, okay?
But
so it ain't got nothing to do with it. Go ahead.
I'm going to say something that most
7
people
days.
are going to think I'm crazy about.
What?
For saying.
And that would be?
If you don't leave a tip,
yeah,
I guarantee you're having financial hardship in your life right now.
Well, that could be true. Now, somebody that's
because I'm gonna tell you something.
they can't afford it. I can understand it.
It's all about how you manage your money.
That's right.
If you're not paying your tithes and tipping God, you may have some problems, right?
Exactly.
Well, you're right. Now I gotta go with you there.
So if you're not tipping your fellow man,
You're right, Jeff.
aren't we God's children?
Boy, you scared me.
That's
I hate
right.
for us to agree.
Hey, thanks for the comments, man.
Okay.
Have a blessed day, Miss Mary.
But you would be insane to walk down the street and think that you're gonna find some money. Yeah, you might every now and again.
About $1.
Maybe when you're 12 or 13.
But you're right about that.
Well, come on now.
That I agree with you.
Now, don't equate the no tipping theory to being cheap, because some people don't leave tips for reasons.
Yeah.
But you should still leave them something to let them know.
Well, older people are not used to tipping. A lot of them that's been around here for like 80 years because
They think it's part of their
they
job.
just think it's part of your job. You can't blame older people sometimes. They don't understand that you make $2 or $3 less than minimum wage.
And there are a lot of old people that do tip.
Yeah, there are. There are a lot of old people. Those who've had money most of their life.
They manage their checks, right?
They manage their check.
They
But
tip.
Yeah.
92 Jams, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Stan and Jeff.
What's
Good
up?
morning.
Look, I look at it like this here, that no matter what your job is, you're being a servant. And being a servant at a restaurant, it doesn't mean everybody's going to tip you, but you still supposed to treat them as if they done gave you $100 no sooner they sit down. You treat them with, and the Bible said, love and kindness have I drawn thee. So if you have that personality, I mean, sometimes I've been in a restaurant and the waitress treats you so nice that you just can't wait to just tip them.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and you know, and I have been in a restaurant and didn't have that much money. And I told her, I said, well, look, I don't have that much, but the next time I come, I'm going to give you a tip. And they said, thank you. And that didn't cost much.
Right.
Just to say that.
Right.
And I agree with the last caller. How, if you just put God first in everything we do, and then y'all said about talking about paying your tithes. Pay your tithes, and God will open those doors. So if the waitress, and then I'm being educated because at first I said, oh, that's not a good topic today. But then you said something, Jeff, that I didn't know about the 8% tax at the end of the year. I didn't know that. So I think the public need to be aware of this.
And see, I didn't know it either.
I didn't know it either.
So, hey, you never know. We have topics that people think, that's weak, I'm turning. And when they turn, they miss something.
That's right. Well, I'm going to ask a question now. How can I got a good topic. How can I get that to y'all?
Either wait till the end of the show and call us or shoot us an email.
Okay.
Okay?
I can do it. Y'all have a good day.
All right, thank you, brother.
All right.
Okay, when we talk about tipping a lot, people think that we're just, and this just came to me. It's like, just then.
That's shocking.
Most people think about restaurants.
Yeah.
But you working on your job, you get a tip too. I don't care where you work and what you do. You can work at a factory. You can work at the hospital. You get a tip. If they've ever had a lunch cookout, appreciation party, a bonus on your check, employee of the month, you get a tip. That is your tip. If they didn't have those things in place, the morale around the place probably wouldn't be where it is. And if you think your morale is bad now, imagine if those little things were taken. Man, let me stop. Thanks for this, because they don't get it. Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning. Getting the tip is something that you have to earn and deserve, because if you see somebody walking the door that you think got $1 million and you gonna give them better service than you give me, and they probably won't even leave you a tip, then no, you don't deserve a tip from me.
Well, see, that's the profiling I was talking about.
Yeah, you shouldn't profile.
You do profile. That's just like your job. Your supervisor's not going to give you raise nor a promotion if you're not doing the job that you need to do. So therefore, if you're not serving me and doing the job that you're supposed to do with my party, then you're not going to get the tip that you think that you deserve.
But what if you are doing the job? Shouldn't you be rewarded?
Yeah, you should be rewarded if you're doing the job. But if I have to constantly call you to come and refill my drink or to remove dirty dishes from my table or constantly get your attention about something that's going on at my table, no, you don't deserve a tip.
Can I ask you a question?
Uh-huh.
Have you ever been a waitress?
Yes, I have.
How was it for you when you were a waitress?
I made what I deserved to make. If I went in there with an attitude and didn't show my customers that I cared about them, no, I didn't get a tip.
Well,
but as long as I kept, and that's not with all people, because you can treat some people like $1 million and still don't get it.
Well, see, that was my next question from the way you sound on the call.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering, did you get a lot of tips?
Yeah, I got a lot of tips. I got a lot of tips, and a lot of tips I deserved that I didn't get, because there are a lot of people out there that don't tip at all, whether you give them good service or bad service.
Okay, now let me ask you one last question.
Is that why you quit?
Did you ever get a tip that you know yourself you felt like you didn't deserve?
Plenty of times.
Thank you. Have a good day.
At least she's honest about it.
So she just told you it works both ways.
Works both ways.
92 Jams, good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, this GP guy, what's going on?
What's up, GP?
What's up, guy?
You need to call me at the end of the show, buddy.
I give you a call, but hey, I got one story to tell you.
Uh-huh.
As far as tipping goes, you know, I work for the public. All right. Y'all remember that big rain we got that everything had flooded over, I say, back in August, September?
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, I was on the front page of the paper. I had water up to my chest. All right, this guy had his jewelry business on the other side of Nail Street, and I helped him find a few diamonds or whatever that he had lost. Excuse me. And, his whole business was gone. About a couple of weeks later, he had asked me to come back over there, so I went back over there. He had got the surrounding businesses around there to take up a collection for me. You know, he gave me $342.
Hey,
wow,
that's nice.
Yes, sir. Yes, sure did. And
the good that you did.
And you wasn't expecting.
Yeah, the good that you do will come back.
Well, see, that's what you get for being nice.
Yeah.
You know, so
But you know, this whole gift giving thing.
He was sowing a seed.
And this tipping thing, it should be a full circle.
Right.
Because you help someone helps you, and then when you help someone else will help someone else. That's how it's supposed to be. But
yeah, that's how it's supposed to be.
That Stan's U word.
That's a utopia.
Hey, I ain't gonna hold up you guys' time. And hey, Stan, you my man, true enough, but we talking about tip people, not tip drills, man. All right, y'all guys be.
All right, man, take care.
Thanks for the call.
Oh man.
But you know, it's something funny about that though. How people can get all of their monies together to do what they want to do and splurge, but then struggle when it's time to. I think I'm not gonna be a preacher.
A motivational speaker.
A motivational speaker. Because preachers preach. I want to teach. And it's just funny when you look back on and you're like, man, I didn't even take a second thought of how to get this money together to go splurge and do that. But now it's a problem. I got 92 Jams. Good morning. You're on there.
How's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
When it comes to tipping, if you really want to see how a waitress or a waiter really earns their tips, you might want to visit like one of the tourist states like Florida. If you ever get opportunity to go down there on vacation, just sit back and you go to some of those restaurants, and I mean those people are really, really giving you great service, and you'd be amazed. You'd really be amazed how many customers that they would help out, you know, in order to get the tips, because, you know, they make big money in those places. So if a waiter or waitress really do a really good job, you can't help but to tip them.
Mm-hmm. You know, I didn't want to bring that up because I know people probably get tired of hearing me say I'm from Florida.
Yeah.
But he's right. When you go to places like Florida, California, especially like San Francisco,
or Disney
World, or yeah,
I went to Disney World.
Six Flags.
I'm telling you, man.
When you go to these places that are set up for tourists,
yep.
Orlando, especially
Orlando, yes, sir.
You're absolutely right, sir. And you know what? Thank you for the call.
Appreciate you.
He's right.
Hey, when I went to Disney World, I'm telling you, and they got, you know, different restaurants and the different hotels on Disney World, those waitresses are just like top notch. You can't help but tip them. I mean, if you don't tip them, then you go back to the room and you just bawl like, dang, I didn't get that waitress no tip. But I'm telling you, he's right. Places like that, especially those high vacation places like Florida and California, New York City, you're gonna see that.
But I'm gonna tell you, Stan, it starts in the heart. The tipping starts in the heart. You can tip your waitress and actually tip the manager if you see a problem.
Yeah.
I've been in restaurants, one of my favorite restaurants, and I went into the restroom, and the restroom was out of order, just totally in disarray. And I had never seen it like that before. So instead of me telling the waitress, I went straight to the manager and said, hey, look, I like coming to this place. It's my favorite spot. The restroom needs to be cleaned up. That manager was so thankful that I did that. He didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
He didn't know I worked on the radio. And believe it or not, those are the genuine tips. When you're not tipping to say, I tipped her $30. And please don't, I'm hoping that preachers are good tippers. I'm really hoping.
If they're the chicken place.
92 James, good morning. You on there. You're so racist. Stereotyping.
Oddly enough, Jeff, I guess I agree with you this morning when you said that it's not just a restaurant feel. I wouldn't call it tips. I would call it random acts of kindness.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, you can do it to anybody, and I think everybody should try to do at least one random act of kindness a day because it does spread. If you do something nice for somebody else, it triggers somebody to do something nice for someone else. Just say if your child's teacher, you feel like they're giving your child a good education, what is it going to kill you to buy her a card and, let her know that you appreciate what she does? You don't know what's going on at home. You don't know what struggles and things that people have to face before they come and offer their service or do what they have to do for you.
That's right, because most teachers have kids, too.
Right. And, I know some school teachers, they have 3 and 4 kids at home. And then you have to come home and deal with a classroom of 20 of our knuckleheads that want to jump around, don't want to listen, don't want to pay attention, but they genuinely love their job. And they're probably one of the biggest group of people that are underpaid.
Yep.
And so it's not just a restaurant feel. I guess, this old minister in the Delta used to always say, it's nice to be nice.
It is.
It is.
And
it's so easy.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call.
All right.
And oddly enough, I agree with you.
She sounded like it was just tough for her to say that.
So, a RAOK.
Who?
RAOK. RAOK. Random act of kindness.
RAOK. I got to try to remember that.
Yeah, I just wrote it down. Something just came. I'm sure I'm not the first one to
So
come
that'll
up
catch
with
on.
that. Right.
That'll catch on.
We'll try to get it to catch on. Yeah. 92 Jams, good morning. You're on the air. Lost you. Call us right back.
A RAOK.
Yeah. A random.
You got a RAOK.
So Stan, if you ever walk by your locker and you see like something posted on there, or you get a letter,
$50 bill in it,
and it says RAOK, you know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
Random.
You left me a $50.
Random act of kindness. Now it may be like a 25-cent coupon off or something at the store.
Hey, that's cool.
Just playing. A free gallon of chitlins.
Hey, if you got a Dodgers chicken snack pack, that's good with me.
Free bucket of chitlins?
Free bucket of chitlins.
92 Jams, good morning. You on the air.
Saying.
Yeah.
No, the preachers do not tip.
You better stop
the
lying.
girl from Cracker Barrel. No, I do know. And I get a lot of preachers that come to me. Brothers,
now they serving chicken. You got to serve chicken.
They do serve chicken.
Y'all got chicken on the menu?
Man, they got fried chicken, baked chicken. You don't go to Cracker Barrel.
They got home-cooked chicken.
Man, that's one of my favorite restaurants.
Yep, and Monday they have baked chicken.
I wish Tupelo was big enough to have a second location.
They have a what?
A second location. I love Cracker Barrel.
Oh, yeah, no, I see y'all in there all the time.
Yeah, all right, don't put
Hold up. Hold up.
They can be like hanging out with Jeff Lee. Hey, thanks for the call.
I was here to say this.
That is awful. She's saying preachers don't
tip, even when they got chicken.
Now, I know better.
That's just like a policeman with donuts, man.
You know preachers tipping.
Yeah, preachers tip. My pastor tips. He's that kind of guy. Yes. Speaking of restaurant, Rudy, what's that? We're going to do Rudolph today or tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow.
Okay.
We're going to be at Rudolph's tomorrow, so you guys can join us over there. I want to see how much you tip.
92 Jams, good morning. In there.
How you doing this morning, man?
How's it going?
I'm pretty good. I was calling about you guys' topics one about this tipping.
Yeah.
And I don't really want to offend nobody here, kind of like in the South or whatever, but theoretically, across the country, because I've traveled a lot and lived in different places, the South has the worst tipping, in my opinion. And that's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've worked for two different companies that represent, one in Tennessee and Memphis, matter of fact, and one out west in Colorado. And did the same job there and made probably 3-4 times the amount of money in tipping. I worked for a trucking line, van line, who moved furniture. And it was very rare that I wouldn't get a tip after doing an 8, 10, 12-hour move, where in Memphis, I could do the same work as hard, get the same service, and it was like the expectation of where this was your job, this is what you expected to do, no matter what time of day or night you're out there doing it. And when we see not 5 cents of a tip, I get a heck of a thank you. That's about all you receive.
Well, sir, being from the South, born and raised in the South, I can't. First of all, I'm not the smartest bear in the woods, and I don't have the answers to everything. But this is how I see it when there are issues of the North versus the South, especially when it comes to money. People in the South probably work 4 times harder than people in the North for their money. That's why it's freely given up there. When we give our money down here, we're not supposed to really have limitations on it.
But you got to earn it.
But we do. And we the ones that say, you got to earn it. You got to go beyond the call of duty. And it's bad. And
it's bad.
I agree with you. But at the same time, I understand. I'm not saying it's right.
Which I understand. I agree with you. That probably is true. And I guess with being in a job that was not really work for tips, but I appreciate it when I received them, it's probably not a time I go anywhere that a tip is expected. I don't really give one just because of what you've been through. Most people that's been through jobs that have received tips and worked for tips, they're more easy than likely to give one up for a person that gives real good service.
And I believe that.
Probably hadn't worked for it.
You're right. I definitely believe that. And I also believe that most people who have gone through a series of manual labor jobs that really work hard and really sweat and now are in a position where they have a not so difficult job, that they pretty much have it what we would call easy street. Those are still tippers.
Oh, yeah.
Because they know from where they came, they can go right back.
So, I really appreciate you guys. You guys do a heck of a job.
Hey, thank you.
I work in Memphis most of the time, but I usually catch the show at least a half an hour before I get up to 2-4 in Tennessee before I can't hear you. But you guys really do a heck of a job. You understand, both.
Man, I appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Man.
Thanks
Appreciate it, brother.
All right.
Hey, Jeff, I can relate to that. Now, I grew up on a farm after coming down from up in Chicago.
And I love hearing your farm stories.
Living on there with my grandfather.
I love hearing your farm stories because I never grew up on that.
Man, I'm going to tell you.
Another farm story.
When I left there and went to college, I was ready to re-sign the Emancipation Proclamation. Because I'm serious. My grandfather worked the hell out. I mean, he worked you, brother.
Did you have to milk cows?
No, I'm not a breast man. I didn't do the cow thing.
Have you ever slaughtered a pig? Or?
Yeah. I've milked a cow, but I never learned that technique.
You ever did the ringing of a chicken neck?
Yeah.
I love to hear these stories, Stan.
Man, come down to the park.
You used to have to chase the chicken too?
No, you don't have to chase him. Just walk in the hen house, pick it up, kill it. Break his neck, grab him by the neck, spin him around, let him go. He'll bounce around for 30 seconds. He's dead. Take a pig, hit him in the head with a sledgehammer, cut his throat.
Oh, I'm glad I didn't have breakfast.
What?
You're making me sick.
I'm just telling you, man. But I'm saying I grew up on a farm, so I understand hard manual labor
and humble beginnings.
And see, when I started working in radio, I'm like, these guys paying me to talk, and I worked like hell growing up.
And I want to say thank you to you, Stan, and the rest of the staff for everything that you guys do. I'm planning a little get together at the house.
Oh, okay, good.
But you guys just don't know, and a lot of people look at our job as, all y'all do is talk. All y'all do is do it. We actually do more than that.
There's a lot of planning behind the scenes before we get to this point.
And I'm not saying it to get brownie points or anything, but I'm just saying it because everything that you hear on the radio would not be possible if it weren't for the good people who work here, and of course you, the good listener.
Yeah. We thank you guys for making our job what it is.
And we go beyond the call of duty, and we don't expect a tip.
No.
But when we get
it's like we like to go around and just sit up, and all of a sudden here we are.
But when we get a tip, boy, woo,
thank you,
boy.
Yes, sir, buddy.
92 Jams. Good morning, you're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Stan and Jeff.
What's up, brother?
This morning.
We're good. How are you?
How you doing?
Doing pretty good. This is Merlin down at the Catfish King 1.
What's up, Merlin?
What's up, man? I told you about
just
that.
wanted to invite you guys. Of course, Stan has been down here several times already. But, Jeff, I just wanted to invite you down to have a taste of some good down-home Mississippi pond-raised catfish.
Jeff is...
Merlin? Mm-mm.
Oh, come on now.
Mm-mm. Wait a minute. Let me...
You know you got to beat Jeff. He is not. He is half black. You didn't know that?
I got to ask you.
Well, I got to say this. I stopped in there for the last 2 days, and I've had the fish and the oysters. And, brother, man, I got to take my hats off to you, my man. That's good stuff.
Well, to the catfish thing?
Hell no.
But do you have anything other than catfish?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we have shrimp, rolled shrimp. We got popcorn shrimp.
There you go. Hey, now we cooking with gas.
How about oysters?
You love oysters?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now we cooking with gas.
Okay, how about hot wings?
Yes, sir.
I like mild.
Okay, well now we've got mild.
Hey!
Hey, man, you got Jeff, dog. You got it.
Now I got to shut you up because this is a free plug.
But it's right there by Walmart.
But I'll come. Is this a new restaurant or something?
Yes, right in there by...
We just opened up yesterday. We're located down on West Main, down in front of Walmart. A couple of doors down from Papa John.
Okay, do you have a pen?
Do I have a what?
A pen? A piece of paper?
Yes, I do.
All right, write this phone number down.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes.
842
Okay.
10
Okay.
67
Okay.
and ask for Nikki Lloyd.
Okay.
And tell her Jeff Lee told you to call.
Okay.
About buying some advertising. All right. Have a good day, Merlin.
Hey, man, thanks for calling, guy.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll come. See, I was thrown off by the name.
Yeah.
I thought they only served catfish.
No. I stopped there the other day. I got to give it to him. I stopped there. I said, hey, and what I'm saying, the price was good.
Do they have waiters and waitresses?
No, it's a takeout service.
Oh, okay.
Takeout service. So, those guys are good. I've known him for a long time. He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
I can tell you right off the top, Merlin, if you want to get business booming, get your onion up in there.
I'm telling you, he got one. He got an onion up in there.
All right,
I cannot remember her name, but I've known her a long time. She's on the cash register.
Let me stop.
Yeah. Boom, shakalaka.
But yeah, I'll visit that.
Oh, it's nice. I'm telling you. I had some oysters yesterday, and I went home and worked the hell out of my wife.
I love me some shrimp.
Oysters. That's like an oyster.
Yes, sir. Just suck it up. 92 Jams, good morning. You on the air.
I don't know what the world coming to.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know what it's coming to.
I don't either, dog.
Coming to an end, man.
Yeah, coming to an end.
All right.
Just like this show. Bye.
Thanks for the call. Like St. Patrick's Day has got
man.
to him already.
Hey, boy, on that guns, you
Yeah,
got.
one of those hurricanes on.
That's one of them left-hand crystal meth.
We're gonna try to take the last call here. 92 Jams, good morning. You on the air.
Good morning, Jeff. This old Miss man called back in.
What's up, Mr. Man?
I thought you said old
I
Miss.
just want to ask one question. I thought about one thing when y'all said y'all going out to the route out there.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed in these restaurants? Well, I'm a very observant person. And people go in say like Rudolph, black restaurant.
Yeah.
And they don't seem to want to leave a tip, but they go out to, the other places and things, and they leave a tip. I noticed a lot of that.
Well, you're right now. You're right. You're so right.
Well, that's because they feel like, that's Brother Man. He all right.
Brother Man cool with this.
He gonna be all right.
Yeah, I just crossed my mind.
But they got bills, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You all got an onion down there, too, boy.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, now.
Hey, thanks, Mr. Man.
Yeah.
Are we that complacent? Staying with at the end of the show.
We're there. We're going to see you guys tomorrow, lunchtime, down at Rudolph's. Jeff and myself. You'll go down there with me, man? Hey, Rudolph, get Jeff a plate of them chitlins.
Oh, you know chitlins, man.
I got to pick at you, dog. Come on, quit playing.
Okay, how long do I have to tell you I don't eat chitlins?
Have you tried them?
Long time ago, Steve.
What about catfish? You say you don't eat catfish.
No.
Have you tried it? Mississippi catfish.
I will not.
Why?
Because.
Will you eat whiting?
Look, man.
You don't eat fish.
Let's not get into my diet, okay? I'm gonna.
I don't know too many black men that don't eat catfish.
Well, shake my hand. How you doing? Nice to meet
you. No catfish.
Nice to meet you.
No cat, huh?
I'm on a carb thing. I'm counting carbs.
Everybody I know eat cat.
And carbs counting me. So. No.
Oh, man. Going with protocol, though.
All right. Keeping in line with protocol. And if you see the onion of the day.
Man.
Don't tip her. Not today.
Tip your hat if you got one on.
We talked about tipping today.
This was your tip your hat.
Just tip your hat and keep on moving. So
she didn't know I was going to do this.
The onion, oh boy.
Now I met this onion. You know, yesterday I went out to the Shannon Family Clinic.
Mm-hmm. In Shannon.
And I met. I'm sure. I
wait a minute. Just go and do it. The onion of
the day is Katrina Bynum. May.
It's banging.
Boom. Shaka laka laka. Woo. Don't get mad at me, Katrina.
Today's day.
You got a husband, I'm sorry.
You silly. Today's day, St. Patrick's Day, belongs to Janice Dabbs.
She got on any green, bro?
I don't know. Do I have? I don't have on any green.
You get the crap pinched out of you today, man.
Whatever. You pinch me, I'm punching you in the face.
I got on my green, dog.
Fight a girl. I'm not Irish.
Well, that's my real last name, which I'm not going to put out there.
So, Janice Dabbs.
Just a little dab will do you.
It's your day today. Have a nice day. You see Denise? Janice. You see Janice today? Tell her have a nice day. You have a nice day, too. Thank you, Stan.
Hey, man, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
We'll be here.
Yep.
Keep it locked.
Peace.